you guys 3 methods of making a circle sleeve. I already have a video on how to make a flutter sleeve, which is different from a circle sleeve. So to make this circle sleeve, I'll show you guys 3 methods. So let's start with the first one. So what you're going to do, the basic thing you're going to do is you're going to get a fabric that is square in shape, right? You see, I ironed mine. You're going to get a fabric that is square in shape. This fabric, this is just a scrap fabric. I added like fabrics to the side just to make it wide enough. So what you're going to do, get a fabric that is square enough, and then you're going to make sure that your sleeve length, so you're going to fold it into 4. Now you see, I opened it up, folded it into 2, right? So it's open this way, fold it into 2, and now you're going to fold it again into 4. So you see how it is. So you're going to make sure that after folding it, that your sleeve length, that the length of the sleeve you want to use fits in here, plus extra 1 inch, right? So if it's not enough, you fold it over, just so you make sure that your sleeve length can fit in on the length you want, plus 1 inch can fit in on one end, and then on this other end, right? So you see the end with the fold, not like checking it on this side. So you're going to check. So I'm working with, let's say my sleeve is going to be 9.5. I have 10.5 here. So on this side also I have 10.5. So now it's okay. So the next thing you're going to do is, I'm going to use that 10.5 that I'm working with, and then I'm going to place my tape at this point and just mark that 10.5 all the way around, right? Just like how you normally cut your circle dress. So I'm going to just cut this whole thing out. The reason why you use 1 inch instead of 1 inch seam allowance instead of 1.5 like you normally use to fold the end is because circle sleeve, you normally use lining instead of folding the end, because the end is circle. So trying to fold it, it won't look nice. So normally you use lining for it. So half an inch of joining the lining at the end, and half an inch of joining this top part here to around the sleeve. So it's normally 1 inch that is used. So I'm going to just keep marking it all the way around. So guys, now I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to cut out this part here. So guys, this method here, this part that I'm cutting out here applies to the 3 methods I'm going to show you guys, right? So this is the basic part of cutting this sleeve that applies to the three methods I'm going to show you guys now. As you can see, I ironed this here. I ironed it and gave it a line here so that we will be able to demarcate each square like before cutting this out. So you see the lines are still visible here. So I'm going to start with the easier methods, right? So what you're going to do, normally before you attach this sleeve, you've already joined the side of your cloth. So you normally have something like this. When you're marking it, the sleeve part is going to start at this ending part. You're going to do, if you're using the first method I'm going to talk about now, is just to divide your armhole. So the armhole I have here is about 8 inches, right? 8 inches. So this is the armhole. If I measure it around here, is 8 inches. So that 8 inches divided, that 8 inches here, I'm going to just mark it here, right? So you're going to start from, this is a half semicircle now. So you're going to start from half of it here. The part below is where I'm going to just put that 8 inches here, and then just give it a shape like this. Just curve it out this way. So you just cut this out, and then you're going to put in your sleeve. Just take it and put in your sleeve here. This top part here is still going to be the top part of your sleeve. So when they are cutting this, the armhole, the hole for the sleeve comes at the lower part. It doesn't come at this top part here. So it comes at the half of the sleeve below here. So this is one method. Or you can just, instead of measuring it round from your sleeve here to get the armhole, you can just, the armhole that you already have initially, just divide it by 2. So let's say you got 16 as your armhole when you were cutting your dress. So when you go to cut it, just divide the armhole by 2, which is 16. I'm going to mark it here. And then from the half of this fold here, you see, that's why I said I ironed it here, so that I have my lines. So you're going to use that half of the fold here, divide it into 2, and then just give it a shape here. Or you can just go ahead, take this here, from this same half of this here, which is going to be the top part of my sleeve, the lower part here, the lower part is here. So what you're going to do is just take this here and draw it in, right? Draw it in. You see, you're just going to put this here and draw it out, and then when you're done, the same thing, you cut it out, right? You're just going to cut it out. So, but the normal method that people use, like the main one that they use, this one here is like if you don't want to use the calculating method, because 6.28 is for everybody. Is like no matter the armhole, that's what you're going to use to calculate it. So it's not like I'm using it particularly for this one here. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to this half shape that is here. What you're going to do is you're going to divide. So the armhole, let's say I'm using this pattern here. As you can see, this is not a normal body. This is just like a small piece of cloth that I cut out. So what you're going to do is the armhole I'm working with is 16. I'm going to divide it by that 6.28, right? So I got about 2.55 thereabout. So what I'm going to do here is just come down here by that 2.5, right? I'm going to just come down from this half. Remember, like I said before, your fabric is folded this way. You've cut out this part here. Your sleeve, you're going to be, anything you're measuring for your sleeve, this line here, demarcating this upper part and this lower part. The lower part here is where you're going to be putting in all your measurements, all your tracings. So from this point here, I'm going to mark 2.5, right? I'm going to just mark that 2.5. And then from this point, I'm going to just start. So from this line, let me just draw this line so you guys can see in case you can't see it properly. You see this line that I ironed in, because this line is coming from this ironing that I made here, and I also made sure to iron this part properly. So you see this line here, you're going to come down from that line to 2.5 or whatever you got from yours, and then from this point here, you're going to just keep marking a circle. 2.5 from this angle here, this point, right, this point here, you're going to keep marking 2.5 all the way. So I'm going to just mark 2.5 again, and then place it this way, round, just like you're trying to make a circle. So you're going to keep marking 2.5. So you guys, as you can see, I've gone ahead and marked it out here, so you can see this shape here. If you, at this point, you can go ahead and cut it out, right? Just cut this out, or if you want, you can just open up the fabric. The ones that you normally see is like you open up your fabric. Let me just mark this line out so that it's more visible for you guys to see. You see, you're going to just start from this center point again. You're going to mark your 2.5. The reason I didn't open it up when I was tracing it before is because the fabric is already folded. So if you trace it out on one side, you're also cutting it on this side. But if you want to be sure, like you want to just do it this way, is also okay. So you see, I'm marking from this center part here. I'm just marking my 2.5 all the way around here. So you see, I've marked it up to this top part here, and then I have my circle. So this is how you normally do it, and that's basically it. At this point, you can also go ahead and trace out your lining. So your lining has to be exactly like this, and then you go ahead and cut it out. So I'm going to show you guys. Now that I've cut it out, what I'm going to do, you see my sleeve now. So what I'm going to do is to notch the bottom of the circle and also notch the top part of this circle, right? Just give it a notch here so that I can know the top and the bottom. So you see, this is how my sleeve will flow, you see. So let me show you guys. So this is how my sleeve will flow. So what you're going to do now, let me show you guys also how to attach it. So what you're going to do, remember, like I said before, by now you've lined your cloth, you've finished everything, you've closed up the side, you've checked the measurement that it fits. You don't have to take in anything. So what you're going to do now is take this here. You see the top part that is going to be at the shoulder. This top part is going to be at the shoulder. Let's say now you've lined it, you've cut out your lining. So what you're going to do is cut out the lining, join it at the bottom, and then flip it in and inside out, iron it. You're going to now take this here, put it this way at the opening of this sleeve, right? You see the top part of your shoulder, where your shoulder joins, you're going to pin it to this part here, you see? And then the lower part here is going to be at this point. You pin everything. It's supposed to be exact, like the armhole here. It's supposed to be exactly the same. So you're going to go ahead and just pin everything down, right? And then you're going to go ahead and sew it all the way around. And when you're done, first try to pin it down before you start sewing. So you're going to take your pin and pin everything down, and then you go ahead and sew it round. And when you're done, you have something that looks like this. So guys, my sleeve is done. This is it here. So try to make sure that you measure the accurate armhole when you're doing it, because if you don't, then you will have the opening might be bigger than the body of the dress. So if you want to get the exact, try to measure it accurately. So this is it here. It's better you have it smaller, and then you just maybe go back in and trim out about half an inch or so and open it up wider than you have it bigger than what it's supposed to be. Because you see mine had a little bit of extra space, but I just pleated it in, but that's not supposed to happen. But this is just a pattern that I'm using. I'm going to dispose of this because it's not anything. So look at it now. This is what it looks like here. So you see you have your circle sleeve. Look at it here, and this is the bottom part of the sleeve here. So that's basically, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Bye.